Hello and welcome to The Big Picture. I am Tina Jha. The Supreme Court on Tuesday stayed the implementation of the 3 new farm laws till further orders and constituted a 4-member committee to listen to the concerns of the farmers and to make recommendations in order to resolve the issue. Passing the order on a batch of petitions challenging the constitutional validity of the 3 laws, the court said the stay on them may assuage the hurt feelings of the farmers and encourage them to come to the negotiating table with confidence. The bench, headed by Chief Justice S.A. Bobde, also noted that negotiations between the farmers' unions and the government have not yielded any results so far, and the constitution of a committee of experts in the field of agriculture to negotiate may create a congenial atmosphere and improve the trust and confidence of the farmers. The committee shall, upon hearing the government as well as the representatives of the farmers' bodies and also the other stakeholders, submit a report before the Apex Court containing its recommendations. The top court has asked the committee to hold its first sitting by the 22nd of January and submit its report to the court within 2 months from the date of its first sitting. So will the Supreme Court's intervention and the expert committee be able to resolve this deadlock? This is what we will discuss on The Big Picture today. Joining me on the program are Mr. P. Chengal Reddy, Chairman, Federation of Farmers Associations, Dr. M.J. Khan, Chairman, Indian Council of Food and Agriculture, and Mr. Sandeep Das, Agriculture Expert, Research and Policy Analyst. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining me on this edition of The Big Picture on Rajya Sabha TV. Mr. Reddy, let's begin the program today with your response to the formation of the committee by the Supreme Court. Do you see it as one positive step now towards resolution of this more than a month-long deadlock?
Yes, we are very grateful to the Supreme Court because you see there are, in democracy when the parliament makes a legislature makes some acts, there is possibility people oppose, they have every right to express their views. And farmers in for 30, 40 days, irritating. They may or may not have whatever their demands are. Somehow the negotiations between the farmers and government have yielded the results. Now the court has come forward, appointed a committee, and whatever the committee suggestions, let's remember, committee suggestions are all recommended, and the government and the court will look into 2 aspects. One is a legal aspect, which is totally separate, constitutional aspect, whether the parliament has a right to pass such bills, and whereas here in this particular issue, apart from the MSP issues and agitation by the Punjab and Haryana farmers on rice especially and the procurement and MSP, there are 90% of the farmers other than farmers, like horticulture, spices, commercial crops and all that. Their voice has not been heard by the government. I mean, for quite some time when government was negotiating, we have been making a number of representations across the country, and we have informed government that, you see, in our sector, that non-rice and wheat sector, cereal sector, there is this problem of processing, value addition, long-term agreement and export. This sector is suffering because there is no MSP, there is no long-term agreements and all that. So India is also under WTO has to develop its competitiveness. And therefore, I will come to that the Supreme Court appointment of committee is really appreciable, and we are thankful to the court. And definitely, it will provide an opportunity for farmers across the country to make this point of view.
Okay, coming to you, Mr. Khan, on your perspective, how hopeful are you of the Supreme Court appointed panel being able to break the deadlock?
I think this panel, let me put it in correct perspective, is not formed to negotiate on behalf of the government. It has been created, it has been formed, constituted by the Supreme Court to assist the Supreme Court. Now, in the process of assisting the Supreme Court, it might hold dialogue with various stakeholders, and that is the purpose of it, to ascertain the applicability, the benefits of these laws, the farmers' perspective, and other key stakeholders who matter. So essentially, this group, we should not look forward to some kind of solution it will come up with. It will, observe, it will list down its own understanding and recommendations and submit the report to the Supreme Court. Now, finally, either in the process of this committee completing its term, the government itself, in consultation with the farmers, finds a way out and the solution, or ultimately court, after understanding, taking this cognizance of the report, might act as it may deem appropriate.
Okay. Mr. Sandeep Das, if we talk about the committee's huge task that it has in front of it, the biggest one is to win the confidence of the farmers. In doing so, what is going to be their approach so that the protesting farmers appear before them and raise their grievances?
See, the Supreme Court judgment came yesterday, and the four-member committee consists of two farmers leader and two agriculture economists of repute. And I hope, although many of the farmer organizations has expressed that they won't be participating in that, but I think they will consult their own legal team, the 41 or 42 farmers organizations who are protesting, and out of 450 farmers organizations in the country, they will consult their own legal team and find out a way, because this committee has to start working on finding a solution. As one of my fellow colleagues said, that they are not negotiating on behalf of that, they are finding a solution. But I must add that all the 42 farmers organization has been very adamant. I should say that when you come to a negotiated table, there should be some give and take. But they have been adamant that repeal the law. Parliament laws are not repealed like that, and even the Supreme Court judgment also says that it's not repealed, it's a temporarily suspension, basically. It's not repeal, because you cannot repeal without, the Supreme Court hasn't heard the case at all. It's the first hearing it has repealed, they said that. So that also, I think the adamant the farmers organization must come to some kind of solution, because how long they continue to have a strike and blocking one of the key roads leading to Delhi. Two roads, in fact, leading to Delhi, and also that farmers are away from their field, and the other agriculture activities are being impacted. And as far as the minimum support price goes, in fact, I must add you that the MSP has nothing to do with this particular two acts and one amendment to the Essential Commodity Act. MSP is the administrative order, and as a person, as a researcher, I must tell you, no government, I must tell you, all the farmers may not agree that no government can provide MSP a legal guarantee. There are a lot of issues, we can debate about that altogether, but there should be some kind of assurance. Although government has given written assurance during the negotiation 8 and 9 round of negotiation that MSP operation will continue in Punjab, Haryana as used to happen for rice and wheat. So that should satisfy the farmers, and because I must tell you that if you look at the data today of the rice and wheat procurement, paddy procurement, which is already completed in Punjab, Punjab has been very phenomenal success. Almost like a huge procurement has taken place by FCI. But we need to find a long-term solution to this problem of price fluctuation and all.
Certainly, and we'll take the discussion forward on what the possible solutions can be. But Mr. Reddy, coming back to you now, the committee has been formed. The Supreme Court said this in its order, that the purpose behind appointing this committee is to assuage the concerns of the farmers, to win their trust, and so that the resolution can be in sight. Now, for the process to move ahead, it is important that the farmers cooperate with this panel. Since the panel was announced yesterday, we've been hearing there are several unions which say that the committee has members who are pro-government, and that's why they will not cooperate, they will not appear before this committee. So how will this panel now going ahead address this criticism, ensure that they are neutral and win the trust so as to make them come to the talking table at least?
See, initially there were some miscalculations on the part of Government of India. See, they invited this so-called some 30-40 farmers leaders who are supposed to be sitting there in Delhi. I am being an activist. I am not aware of these farmer leaders. How come there are 35 40 farmers leaders all from Bharat? I mean, I am not finding fault with anybody claiming to be a leader and all that. First of all, here we must look at this issue. Getting concerned, as Mr. Das said, it is simply they are refusing. See, let us look at the negotiation that happened. From day one, they have been telling that you take back, Parliament enactment, a constitutional authority in a democracy takes some decisions. And some people sit and then they form a committee, and government out of courtesy, they invite them, and simply they have the audacity to say, you take back the loss. What is this? I mean, this is not, this is a very, very funny situation. I don't want to comment on what went wrong, but what is absolutely, don't have invited them. And now, see, as you were just now, you're asking, they have to seek opinion from others. As Mr. Zahid said, please remember, we are 95%, let me assure you, because of the rice and wheat produced, cereals produced, maybe 10, 15, 20% is procured. That to Punjab, Haryana, which is already happening. The rest of the country, there is absolutely no procurement, no MSP, as I said to the other crops other than the cereals. Where is the MSP? No. When the government calls me for negotiations, I should have a minimum respect for my government. It's my constitutional authority. The minister is a constitutional representative. He's an elected member of parliament, and he's there in the cabinet and all that. Here, a situation happened in the last 40 days of negotiations. I mean, they just come and sit and then and simply say that, no, you withdraw the acts. Now, I would straight away ask, who are you to withdraw? I mean, this is here. Please let me tell you, ma'am, this committee constituted by Supreme Court has all the authority to seek views from different sections of the country. Now, these different sections, as Mr. Zahid said, there are 300, 400, there could be 500 farmers associations. And other consumers are there. They also have to be taken into consideration. All of them maybe people sitting in Delhi, the starting party people.
And especially when the Supreme Court has also made it clear that this committee is only part of the judicial process. It has made it clear that this committee is not going to pass an order or punish. There shouldn't be any reason for the agitating farmers not to appear before the committee. Mr. Khan, what if they refuse to appear before this committee? Then what is the way forward?
See, the formality of appearing before the joining the meetings with the ministers, that has gone on with the same composition, same agenda, same stated positions, and the result has been the same after every meeting. So whether say 8 rounds or 18 rounds, if narrative does not change, if the composition does not change, if the softening of stand does not change, probably the result would be the same in the 18th round of meeting also. About this committee, farmers' perspective has been that they are not for any committee. They would rather like to put pressure on the government to yield to their demands. And the demands are scrap the 3 legislations. The question arises that the government hypothetically takes the step of scrapping all the 3 legislations, then what will happen to the farmers who have been looking forward to benefit from the ecosystem that these 3 legislations put together create?
Yes.
So that will be very unfortunate. Rather, if these farmers had been asking for the amendment to their areas of objection, so benefits that this legislation promised that, plus the objections, if any, addressed by the government, put together would have given them wonderful gift in a way, not only to the farmers of Punjab, Haryana and Western Uttar Pradesh, but rest of the country would have been celebrating. Now, coming to this committee, unfortunately, farmers have chosen to react very negatively, pointing out to the ability of the committee to act impartially, given their stated positions or their support so far to the farm bills. The question here is that most of the experts have been supporting the reforms. Therefore, any experts nominated in this committee were likely to be questioned for their impartiality. So these 2 economists are the eminent economists. I hope farmers should have the confidence in them. Despite the fact that there are some articles may have been not convenient to the agitating farmers.
Yes. Yeah. Mr. Das, in the several rounds of meetings that have taken place so far between the agitating farmers and the government, we've seen at least 2 of their 4 demands have been met by the government. The government has assured them that the government will also look into the other concerns, but they are still adamant on repeal of the 3 laws. So what exactly is the bone of contention now?
See, government has also agreed to the 2 of the major, the proposed amendment to the Electricity Act of the proposed amendment to that.
Yes.
And also the decriminalization of that burning of the straws and all those. So that they have withdrawn already. And also to repeal this 40, if it's a very bad precedent to be said that 41 or 45 organization comes come and start repeal or we don't talk. So that is very adamant way. Chingaledi said that you just block the Delhi road and tomorrow what will happen? There is a farmer assembly blocked. I give an example, a hypothetical example. Tomorrow we'll stop a train which take coals to Punjab and stop from Odisha actually. And everyone starts stopping our public network and said because Allah said this law is repealed, we cannot protest. So this whole process of protest has been very, very adamant in terms of, that is our natural, because Punjab, Haryana are very close to the national capital, so they can come and block the road and all. But to blocking the road for 45, 50 days and the adamant way of, if you come to the negotiation, it can't be like my way or highway basically. It has to be negotiated and all. And the fact remains that, and also symbolism. If you see the farmers, because they will symbolically don't eat there. Those kind of symbolism was very, very unfortunate part of it. I always say that if you are so adamant about the symbolism, then don't take MSP as a government operation. Then don't, why are you selling it to a state government agency? If you are not willing to eat food there, it is such small little things. But the symbolism should end. And 45, 50 days there on this cold winter, they're protesting. It must end. And also the targeting the 4 members is not a very that means you cannot have cannot have a cake and eat it too, basically, essentially. The committee, anyone who will raise question about anything, because no committee can satisfy all the members of the anywhere in a committee setup, they cannot satisfy all the members, essentially. And these people are repute, they are not they are not.
And also the committee will be presenting the report with its recommendations in about 2 months from now. The first sitting is likely to be held on the 22nd. 2 months is going to be a long time. Mr. Reddy, so what is the middle path then? If we are looking forward for a resolution to this entire deadlock, we've seen more than a month has passed, they're still sitting on the roads. The Supreme Court is now expecting that with the committee now being formed, the farmers will go back to their homes, to their livelihood, and then wait for the recommendations. What is in the best interest of the farmers now?
Personally, I am of the view that the government has committed a big mistake for negotiations. First of all, they should have recognized who are they. Are they government of India or state government? Who are these people? On what basis they have been invited? Yes. In a democratic process, when there is an agitation by citizens, the government of India must set all these things. And it's a democratic process. They have invited with all courtesies and then went on. As Mr. Das said and Khan says, you withdraw the acts. I mean, I'm as to why government of India has invited them for now. They have these so-called farmers leaders have the audacity to say that the Supreme Court constituted committee also is biased. Now, whom should they appoint? Do they want somebody from these 40 organizations to be made as a committee or what? Or should they nominate a committee? What is more? I will tell you, madam, there is no way. I am personally telling you that this committee who are now or have organized this agitation, and I am sure they are not, their intentions are not, they have their own peculiarities, which I don't want to comment. But they probably are already decided. I think they have today. And also, even before the Supreme Court was the process, these committee members have said they will refuse to oblige these directions. That means,
Mr. Khan, do you agree with Mr. Reddy that there is no way? Or if you look for a resolution, the government says no repeal, the agitating farmers say repeal is the only way. Do you see a middle path going ahead?
I think of all the objections that farmers had raised related to these 3 legislations or even outside the ambit of these legislations, for example, the penalty on burning of the stubble, the electricity reforms bill, government agreed to accept all those, additionally giving MSP in writing which the farmers were demanding. The only thing that remains where probably 90-95% of the farmers' objections will be addressed, and the entire build-up that is happening today will slowly disappear, is the applicability of the MSP on trade. So there have been discussions that whether both the sides can come down one step from their stated positions. Farmers leaving the demand of scrapping of the 3 legislations and government saying that MSP is not possible on the trade. So there is a calculation done that what are going to be the implications if MSP is applied on the trade, which means no one will be allowed to procure below declared MSP. So what are they going to be, implications in terms of inflation, implication in terms of market distortion, and how exports will be affected. So there are various implications that we have analyzed in one very high-powered sitting. So by and large, there was opinion that if the crisis to be averted, this is possible that government might take a positive step. So now there is a need for what Mr. Chengaleddy said. I would like to add on that if back channels work now, then I think solutions can be found out. What happens is face to face, both sides stick to their stated positions very firmly. Anybody who talks logic is seen as diluting the agenda and therefore seen as not, having full integrity with the agitation. So therefore, there's a competition in showing the higher integrity by becoming more hard and hard. So here is the role of the back channel diplomacy. The government side seems to be slightly inclined now to the idea that, okay, some discussion can take place on that, looking into what could be the implication. So that, I think, creates the common ground. Unfortunately, this committee, as soon as it was formed, the farmers, first they rejected the committee, then they started commenting on the composition of the committee, that these are the members who are known for their support. Therefore, agitating farmers are not going to cooperate with this committee. This is a fait accompli of this committee. Rest everyone will come forward and support. So I think probably back channel must work at this moment.
Okay. Mr. Das, is there scope for these laws to be made more farmer friendly?
See, the government has, during this negotiation of 8 or 9 round of negotiation, also government has given that some of the objection of the farmers about suppose dispute settlement mechanism in the Contract Farming Act. So that can be addressed to the whether SDM is able to settle a dispute or can go to civil court. Those kind of stuff. Government is agreed that they can change the legislation. But to be adamant, and I think there is also issue of a little bit of ego here, because once they have said that the kind of slogan they give it, marenge or nahi to chhodenge nahi. So those kind of stuff create a very, very, very not a conducive atmosphere for that. I think there's an ego hassle. Back channel has been working to break this, and also a little bit of politics, entirely politics has been played. I was reading just to give you a reference to the later that the Punjab government, which is government issued its own economic survey report. Economic Survey 2019-20 talks about contract farming, how it will save the Punjab farmers. 4 pages is devoted to contract farming in Economic Survey of Punjab government of 2019-20. So same government is opposing this particular law. So those that politics are entangled in the entire thing. So that should stop. And government has already procured paddy from Punjab, highest number of paddy from Punjab this season. Although how long that this will continue, I don't know, because it's a huge ecological environmental disaster. Punjab has to diversify from common variety of paddy, leave aside basmati rice. Basically, it's a future of the farmer. The farmers should negotiate on that rather than this basically.
Exactly, they have to ensure that their interests, their concerns are not hijacked by political parties, and they have to think about their benefit in the longer run as well. So what lies ahead before the committee for the agitating farmers is something that we'll have to wait and watch in the next few days. Whether the agitating farmers agree to appear before the committee is something that only time will tell. But we're all hopeful that the committee will try its best, will try to win back the confidence of the farmers, bring them to the talking table, note down their concerns, and then make recommendations before the Supreme Court. So with that, I'll call it a wrap on this edition of The Big Picture. Thank you very much for your time. Just in case you missed the television broadcast, you can also watch it on YouTube and send in your feedback and suggestions as well. Thank you once again.